So, my name is Amanda Nicotera, and this is a presentation for my ACA class about my success this semester. I utilized for this presentation my SMART goals that I made and the reflection papers that I had. Used those for majority of this presentation. Um, I am in the veterinary medical technology program, and I am about to graduate on May 22nd. It's very exciting. And these are all the things that I learned this semester and all the things that I improved on and still need some work on. So at the beginning of this semester, I had a lot of things that I had to get adjusted to, a lot of new things, a lot of things that definitely wasn't used to. Going to school full time, I had left the program for a year, or for really a semester, and then came back to retake a class, and then was full time for the first time in a year this semester. So it was definitely a new transition for me. Definitely had to get used to being that crazy student again. Also, I got a new job over the Christmas break before I came to school this semester, working at a tap and grill. It's very late hours and definitely a different atmosphere. Really laid back, though, which was nice, but definitely something different that I'm not used to. Also, I had this internship that I had to do 2 days a week. It was on Tuesdays and Fridays, about 4-hour shifts, and that was definitely different. Always walking into a new atmosphere with different people, and they always conduct themselves differently, so that was something to get used to. And then I'd also gotten a relationship in late November, early December. We called it official December 3rd, and we've been together for 5 months now, but at the time we'd only been together for 1 month, and we were still in the beginning stages, and trying to spend time with each other while I was doing all of these other things was definitely difficult. So, in order of importance, this is some of the things that I did to try to organize my thoughts. I really needed to prioritize things because you can't organize anything if you don't prioritize what is most important. So this is a graph of that. So obviously school is going to be the first one because I wouldn't be in this whole mess if I didn't have to do it. And so class and my internship is going to fall under those categories. The internship definitely, because that's part of my graduating process. Definitely part of the learning curve of being out in the environment and learning. Definitely awesome. Great experience. Work was Sammy's Tap and Grill, like I said before. I live on my own, so I have to pay my own bills for everything, and that's also been a really large struggle for me, making sure that I have money for everything. So obviously that has to be number two, and unfortunately I didn't want it to be number two because I'd really like to focus on school a little more, but definitely there. And then the third one would be personal time. I put sleep and time spent with a boyfriend under that because I find that sleep is definitely some time that you can spend with yourself. And even though it's essential, it's still something that is can be played with a little bit, even though it's not supposed to be. And then the time spent with my boyfriend is definitely great personal time, and I spend a lot of time with him. Some problems to overcome when I started the semester was procrastination, keeping organized, and staying focused on the task at hand. Procrastination was definitely the biggest one. You can't really do anything if you keep putting it off and waiting till the last minute. It's not a good place to be in, and it's not conductive in any aspect of your life at all. And I definitely learned that, and I wanted to come into this semester trying to fight that and beat that. Keeping organized also kind of goes hand in hand with procrastination. My room is a total mess and a disaster area, which is one of my SMART goals that I kind of addressed. I definitely need to start taking time to really organize everything in the first place and then continue on and keep it organized. And that is the struggle that I have, is the follow through of making sure that everything goes back to where it belongs. Staying focused on the task at hand, that's something that has really improved over this semester, but it was definitely a big issue and a big nervousness that I had coming into this semester, being full-time again. Goals that I had was cleaning my room every Saturday morning for at least an hour, study for at least 2 hours per day, fixing my schedule to accommodate that, developing a better sleep schedule of at least 6 hours a night to get through my academic career. I'll kind of break that down. So the first one was taking time to clean my room on Saturdays. Saturday mornings, I decided that was going to be my day for kind of cleaning things up. Didn't quite get to where I wanted to be. Never really took the time to clean my room officially, but I did make a regular schedule of doing laundry on that day, so I always had clean clothes, and periodic cleaning of my bathroom. Sometimes I would wait and for it to be a necessity before I'd clean it, but now I clean it at least once a month to keep up with everything that goes on in there, obviously cleaning yourself and all those other things. The things that I still need to work on was obviously, like I said before, taking time to really organize my room in the first place and find a place for everything, and then going from there. My second SMART goal was the taking time to study at least 2 hours. So what I accomplished with this goal was utilizing my Mondays through Wednesday nights. I definitely needed them because they had the least amount of time that I was like working or doing something else. And then taking advantage of some different and more effective study habits. I definitely figured out a lot more habits that are really conductive for what I have going on with this nutrition class that I've been struggling with. Whiteboard, I use a whiteboard and a marker, and I start going down the line of questions and trying to figure out what the answer is by writing it down and having that physical interaction and having that physical doing things, and then the studying with friends, obviously that's going to be a really big deal. I utilize my friends a lot in this program because we're all going through the same thing, we're all doing the same stuff, and it's all really difficult. And it's really useful to find out what they study and what they do that helps. Using online resources, sometimes in nutrition it's hard for me to figure out what is important and what's not, and how in the world, my teacher got from this point to this point, or what exactly is the system of, this and this and this, or what are ways to help me remember this certain list, because I'm sure that there are people that struggle with it, and there are different ways of teaching this class. So I go on the online and I start searching for things that would help. What I still need to work on, using some of the tools that I found out through this semester. Sometimes I would really struggle on something, and then I'd figure out later down the road that it was actually something that I could easily have fixed, and it's kind of frustrating to know that I've come up with all these skills now that I really could have used in the beginning instead of using them at the very end, frantically trying to bring my grade up in nutrition. But, it happens. Now I have that. Is the sleeping for at least 6 hours. So something that I had to do to accommodate, since I worked so much and such late nights, scheduling in naps, getting to bed at a time where I can sleep for 6 hours was definitely important. Some of those nights it was really difficult. Monday through Wednesday it was usually pretty steady, but like Thursday and Friday and stuff like that, they were nap times. And what I need to work on now is not working such late shifts at work. and taking time to really kind of plan that out and my study time better so that I'm not trying to study late at night and not oversleeping on the weekends, because that just throws off your whole sleep schedule. You may be able to catch up on your sleep, but then it's right back to the drawing board at the beginning. The 3 days that I'm not working, Monday through Wednesday, I created a graph to kind of show the different hours. So on the far right, you see the legend where the different colors mean Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. On the far left, there's the hours column, and then at the very bottom, there's the study time, school, personal, and sleep. So these things are essentially how I kind of divided up my time, and I figured I'd put it in a graph to kind of show the exact hours that I had every week to week on these certain days. And I think the sleeping looks like the highest, but it's really not that great of hours, especially on Tuesday. When I get home from my internship, it was hard for me to wind down, and then it was hard for me to start studying again. So I took a lot of time to do all of those things instead of sleeping, so that was always a struggle. Working 25 hours total of work, 25 hours total of work that I would have. They would schedule us, I think they schedule us we are open from 11 to 2 a.m. Every day. But I only had to work to 2 a.m. on Fridays and Saturdays, and then on Thursdays I usually worked till about 12, and then Sundays I usually worked like midday, like 3 to 9 or something like that. So unfortunately, this graph does not cover 5 days and 5 different categories. So this is what I have. But obviously it's the same thing, the legend on the right side where you can see the different colors, and you can kind of analyze all the different aspects and hours that I spent doing certain things. On Saturday, I obviously didn't have any school, so there wasn't any school classes being held. And then the personal time on Saturday was definitely a lot larger. And the sleep on Friday night to Saturday was amazing. Those are the days that I really slept in. So, this isn't generally a very solid graphs of the exact timelines. These are more generalized averages of how much sleep or how much schoolwork or what I've learned outside of my goals. In some of these classes, I've definitely learned some different skill sets. In ACA, this class, I've also really started paying attention to a lot of the things. The learning styles definitely there towards the end has helped me study greatly in my career as a student. Trying to fight procrastination. There was an article that was given to us in this ACA class that really talked about procrastination, and it was excellent. Really identifying the different types of procrastinators. It was awesome. Goal setting. For me, setting goals is not something that I do very frequently, and being able to follow this throughout the semester and write papers on it and really follow through with everything was definitely different for me, and it was something that I wasn't used to, and I was really appreciative to have the opportunity to do that. In my veterinary technician program, we used a lot of memorization lists because you have to memorize a lot of things, unfortunately, to be in the medical field. But I've come up with a lot of different fun things to help me remember a lot of stuff. Also, patience with fellow students. When you're in the program so long with people that you can't stand, it starts to get a little frustrating, for sure. So I also had a lab partner who was very difficult to get along with, and we had a lot of issues together. But, being able to keep going and keep patience with her and with all my professors and all the other students was definitely a challenge, but it was something that it was worth taking that sacrifice and keeping quiet and keeping focused. And then hard work really does pay off. Even if I do or don't graduate because of this nutrition grade that I'm still trying to work on, I definitely know that I worked really hard and that also at my job, I have decided that not to use my book because the orders aren't usually very complicated at this job. So I don't usually write them down for up to 4 customers because I don't really need it. Sometimes if they start to get complicated, I'll pull it out, but I repeat things back to them, and I do things to help myself remember what they're doing at the time, or what I'm seeing on them, or like little identifying factors, and it helps me remember what they said. And of course, I always immediately have to go to getting my uh, order in immediately afterwards, but it's definitely something that's really neat that I've come to learn how to do. Also, keep myself professional and focused, even if I don't want to be there. So, not being there is really what I want to do. It's definitely difficult to get through working in a place that you really can't stand. But, it's a source of income, and it's something that I have to do. So, I have to take the time to really sit down and think about what's professional, and just go in there and put my head down and keep working. In my personal life, find out how to spend every day with someone else besides you. My boyfriend is absolutely amazing. He's been amazingly supportive through this entire process, and he spends every single day with me, and we miss each other when we're not together. And I know that sounds really cheeseball, and it's really, cute and quaint, but we've been together 5 months now, and we spend every day together and at least sleep next to each other, and it's really nice to have that constant support. To graduation. So this is the class picture. I'm way down. If you go all the way to the right, the second row up, that's me sitting next to Miss Caitlin, the very end. And so hopefully this will be the class that I graduate with this semester, and I'm pretty excited to do that and to move on to the next section of my life. So thanks for listening.